Hey everyone, can you hear me okay? I'm hoping so. It looks like the microphone's picking me up nice and loud and clear, so I thought I would just come on and chat for a little bit, but there is a method to my madness here. I'm going to open up the chat so I can keep an eye on what's being said and answer any questions that you have. Really, this is just going to be totally, wow, my hair is crazy. I wore it wavy today and it's a little chaotic, and I will let you know Mary is actually here with me tonight. So we might give her a mic and we can both have a little chat. She's spending a little bit of time, has a little bit of, she spent a little bit of time here, not like months on end like Ian was, but she happens to be here in the studio tonight. She is spending the night tonight. I have the day off tomorrow. So I'm grateful for a friend that's helping me with the transition for my mother-in-law. So that's always nice. Do you want a microphone?
I don't need one, but I wish.
Well, I don't want to have to repeat what you're saying.
I understand. I completely understand.
Plus, I think people really like hearing you. So here's the method for my madness. This is why I am actually kind of hanging out a little bit. If you didn't see yesterday, Donna had a live stream and I happened to jump on and join. She's doing this lion challenge. So let me just back up about that if you don't know what that is. The legit kits, these are FPP kits. I absolutely love them. They're awesome. I have not done tons. I've only done a couple, but there's one that's making a lion and she has challenged a few people to take that project on and just work it through to completion. Hers is already pieced. Mine is not, and it is far from being finished. It's going to take me a long while to do it. But she had asked if we are free on Monday nights when you have some time. I'm going to go live and I'll be working on my lion. And if you have some bandwidth, I would love it if you would join me on my live stream if you're working on the lion project. So I had time last night and I joined. But if you didn't tune in for that, what you missed is that my power cord for my Mac completely died. And so about halfway through the live, I was just operating completely off battery. Well, if I go backwards a little bit, there's more to the story. For the past 2 or 3 months, I've been having issues with my computer, specifically when I live stream, where the battery just depletes itself. I don't know why. I thought there was something with the software. I thought there was something with the hardware. I wasn't sure, but now that power cord, which it was an off-brand cord and an off-brand wall plug, now that that's completely dead, it's left me wondering, could it have been a underpowered cord and brick? And so $150 later, I bought the Apple certified power bank, like the power cord and everything, and it got delivered by courier today while I was at work. And so I've plugged it up. My battery is at full. And so the whole point of why I'm here talking to you is just because I want to test being on a live stream for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so, and just see what happens to my battery. And now for those of you that aren't tracking this, let me just be very clear here. My battery on my laptop was draining even while it was plugged into the wall, which is why I think the plug wasn't providing enough power to my computer for it to do live streams even when it was plugged in. That's why I think it was underpowered. So I have the one that Apple says should be used for this computer, and we're going to see if it helps. So that's why I'm here. And while I'm here, I'll read some of the chat. Donna, are you in the live? I don't know. Donna may or may not be in the live. But if you want to check out that lovely, if you want to check out the lovely lions that we're working on, you'll have to tune into her channel because she's making awesome progress on it. And I think everybody's kind of over there talking a little bit about what they're doing. And then when the project wraps on her channel, anybody that still has it left to do, they'll be carrying it forward on their channel. So Trey Joyner says, hello, Becca. I had 2 hot dogs with only squeezy, mustard, and ketchup dinner. Someday soon, I may replace my 16-ounce OXO condiment bottle with my 12-ounce Pioneer Woman bottle for mustard. Awesome.
Okay, you got to tell me what that's about.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I don't know.
I thought maybe it was a conversation that you had in your live or something at some point.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just realized my mic was very, very hot, so I scaled it down. It should be coming through a little bit better now. But maybe Trey Joyner can tell us the story.
Yeah.
Oh, Always Late is saying, Becca, I hope you're feeling better tonight and have no migraine. Actually, yeah, no migraine today. Eyes are still a little bit dry, but things are improving. And if you're curious about what that's about, last night, also on Donna's Live, I was trying to work on my lion, but I was having issues seeing. I think my eyes were just really dry. It's that time of year. We have also a heat pump or electric furnace. And so the heat here, the house is dry if you don't run humidifiers. So I'm learning to adjust to that, but my eyes were a little bit dry last night. It was hard for my eyes to focus, and I was worried that it meant a migraine was coming, but no migraine right now. Hey, there's my friend Tiffany. Oh, yeah, Susan, I hope my new cord works out better than the last one. Speaking of cords, did I ever tell you, Mary, about the story with the cameras that I have?
No, I don't think so.
I had them running off of batteries, but I also had them being powered by USB cords directly from an outlet, and they just kept failing, and I had no clue why they were failing. And Tiffany was like, "Oh, you need to get the pseudo battery." So they have these little, they look like batteries, they're shaped like batteries. They go up in the camera, but it's not a battery. It has a cord coming out of that little battery attachment, and it goes into a power outlet. So the reason why these are running now and consistently stay powered is because Tiffany told me to get those adapters.
Way to go, Tiff.
Right? So since we're talking about all things power. Lynn So Imperfect says, hello, So Becca, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And Stephanie Fulton is, by the way, in the chat, and Stephanie finished that quilt, so you'll have to tell her thank you. She will be cuddling with that tonight.
Yep.
We got a lovely package, and I'm going to throw you on the spot, Stephanie, sorry. So we got a lovely package in the mail from Stephanie Fulton. I feel like if I'm going to tell the story, then I feel like I should show the quilt, right? Here, let's get it together.
Yeah.
So we got a lovely package in the mail from Stephanie Fulton today, and it had 3 wrapped gifts inside with a card. And the first gift was a package of Burt's Bees chapstick for my daughter. She took her favorite one and let me have one, and I've got the other 2 set aside because she will inevitably lose the one that she took. And there was a package of beef jerky for my husband, but for me, you want to grab this. There was this lovely quilt, and there's a story. Oh, we got it the wrong way. Yeah, we got it the wrong way. There's actually a story behind this. So this, can you lower it a little bit so they can see the top?
Oh, sure. There you go. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. They can see.
Okay.
So this is the Jolly Bar 4 quilt along, and this was a quilt top that I made at the beginning of 2023. And I got the center of it done, and I decided, I'm not going to finish this quilt. My obligation is done. I'm going to pass it on. And so, wait, is this the one I did? I don't think this is the one I did. Stephanie, is this the one I did? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I feel like it.
I think it is, because I think I recognize that block down there.
Well, I thought that this one had, maybe, yeah, there's the extra purple, so maybe it is, whatever. Yeah. If this is the one I'm thinking of, I think I sold it on a Whatnot live stream. You know what? We're just going to clip this up
Yeah.
behind me.
Oh.
I think I sold the quilt top for like 10 or 20 bucks or something on a live stream. And oh, there goes my dolphin. Stephanie snagged it up, and then she bought some extra fabric for that lovely piano key border. And obviously the backing and the binding, she made it bigger, quilted it, and sent it back to me. This is now 2 quilts I have in my room that Stephanie has finished for me just because she's so amazing. I gotta tell you though,
It's
this
gorgeous.
is fun. It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. But I have to tell you, yes, Jolly Bar 4 with Sherry and Chelsea fabric. This is the Seashore Drive fabric. Now, here's the thing about this. I have made at least 3 quilts now with this fabric. The first one I made was with the Magnolia pattern that I did with Tiffany in 2022. I think we started that in 2022. Maybe it was 2023. And my sister Nicole saw it and went, ooh, I'm going to take it. My mom, so that fabric left the door. I did this with that fabric. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know that I think I wanted to do another Magnolia with that quilt or with that fabric. And I was just trying to declutter. And so I let this one go out the door. And then my mom took my last charm pack of it. So every time I made a quilt with this, I had none of that fabric left. And then I was like, I really like that fabric. And I went and bought another pre-cut of the same fabric. So I have made like 3 quilts with this one fabric line. But I was really sad because after I gave this away, and not really sad, but after I gave this away and my mom used up my last charm pack of that, I was like, well, I don't have a quilt with the Seashore Drive, but now I do. And spoiler alert, Mary's spending the night tonight and she's going to get the first cuddle with it. So she's sleeping with it tonight.
I'm excited because it's a beautiful quilt and it's a big quilt too.
It is a big quilt. It is a big quilt. She said, I said, hey, let me throw it in the wash for you because you want to get that crinkle look. And she goes, no. She's like, I love a brand new quilt. I was like, but it's stiff. And she's like, yes. I was like, oh, okay. All right. So she's going to cuddle with that tonight. And I got to tell you, Steph, like literally, I remember when I did this, what I didn't love about this quilt was this big center block right here. And you can see if I lean out of the way, you can see there's 2 flying geese units that are purple. I felt like it wasn't balanced. Like I felt like there was too much purple in here and it was going to throw the whole quilt off. But now that the quilt's done and I'm standing back and kind of looking at it, I actually really love it.
I like the piano key border on it.
Oh, but that adds everything to it. Before that piano key border, and I think she probably did an inner border too, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like there's a white inner border.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that or she did that, but I will tell you, before that extra border was added on, this quilt, it wasn't finished to me. It didn't feel cohesive. Isn't it amazing how just a border can completely change the whole dynamic of your quilt?
It's gorgeous. I love it. And I'm excited to test it out tonight.
She is excited to test it out tonight. So, let's see. What do we have happening? Are you always on Wednesday? Do you mean are you always off on Wednesday, Jan? No, I'm taking tomorrow off to help my mother-in-law transition into our home. So for those of you that don't know, my mother-in-law is coming to stay with us for a few weeks or a month or so. She'll be here throughout Christmas and she's arriving tomorrow. And so I'm taking the day off to help get her transitioned into our home and settled in and just kind of take some time for me before I start helping my husband care for his mom for the next month. So tomorrow is kind of a mental health day / move Brenda in day. It'll be fine. And I wish Tiffany were here. Mary will be here at least throughout the morning. I think she's got some time tomorrow. She'll be here to help with that transition too. So I'm really excited to have a good friend kind of help with that process as well.
I'm spending a little quality time with Becca before I have to move to South Carolina.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that tonight. Like we want to make sure that we set intentional goals because our friendship is changing from one that is in person and physical, and we have the benefit of having each other close by, to one where we're separated by hundreds of miles. And so now we have to have more of a friendship like I have with Tiffany and Ian, where we set aside intentional time to talk, and we have to be more purposeful about putting that other person there. I do better with relationships when the person is in close proximity to me and I can see them in person. And so does Mary. Neither one of us are big phone people, so that we've got that working against us too. But I think with all the technology that we have out there with Zoom and FaceTime and all these other things, and Mary loves a good road trip, and she's close to an airport and I'm close to an airport, I think there is definitely the potential to just transition our friendship and our relationship into that next chapter. We just have to make sure that we are very open with our communication and we know what that looks like.
Yep.
So,
and Lisa's Quilting Corner is wanting to know where in South Carolina I am moving to. I am moving to a little town called Graniteville, South Carolina.
yes, right outside of Alabama, right?
No, it's right outside of
Georgia.
Augusta, Georgia.
Sorry. So sorry. So sorry.
Okay.
So sorry.
But not too far from Alabama, too.
Yeah, and I do have plans already to see her new home in July, because she's going with Mom and I to our Alabama retreat in July. And there's a couple of ways that we could get there. We could go down 81 and go through Pigeon Forge, or we could go through the Carolinas and then kind of cross over. And so the plan right now is for Mom and I to leave the day before and drive down to Mary's house, stay overnight at Mary's house so we can see her new home, and she'll want to show it off by then, I'm sure, and then drive over to Alabama, potentially everybody in my SUV, because we shouldn't need tons of stuff, right?
Nope.
Like we should be okay. So,
Yep.
Jean says, I was wondering, I'm sorry if you are on here every Wednesday. No, nope. And today's Tuesday, actually.
Yep, it is.
But I do try to upload a video every week on either Tuesday or Wednesday. And those videos are pre-recorded and they're edited, and they're usually either a vlog or a story I want to tell, or a tip, trick, tutorial, demonstration of something. So those are more short form, I will say shorter form content, because I try to keep those videos to 20 minutes or less, ideally between 10 and 15 minutes. Sometimes they're upwards of 20 minutes or so, depending on the content that I'm trying to deliver. I do that once a week, and then I always do a Friday night live stream from 8 to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. This is just impromptu. I don't do these often. They're completely unscheduled.
And I see Fallon's in the chat too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got a special box from Fallon today, and I just wanted to say thank you. I will send you a nice note through an email or even through the snail mail, but I wanted to say thank you for your surprise gift today.
So Fallon and her husband, do you want to get it? We can show them
Sure.
what it is. Fallon and her husband sent a quilty gift to Mary, just as kind of like a thank you for being awesome. And this is a new piece of decor for her new sewing room. It's one of those little light up things. It says the Crafty Panda on it, and it's not plugged in, it's not charged, but you can plug this in and charge it up, and it'll do the light on it. If you want to see what this looks like, she has one in the background in her sewing room that says "So Be It Quilts," I think, or something. So you can see what it looks like when it's all lit up over there. This is a different, like, it changes colors and everything too. So Mary's very excited to have that. Thank you.
It'll look really nice in my new sewing room.
Ray says, Mary, I hope your move goes smoothly. I can't even imagine moving, let alone packing up my sewing room.
Yeah, it took me quite a while to pack up my sewing room and to get it, and my scrapbooking room, because not only do I have a quilt studio, but I have a scrapbooking studio that has just as much stuff as my quilting area does. And it's all packed up in boxes now, sitting in my garage, waiting for the movers to come pick it up when we get closed on our house here in Virginia. and when I go to settlement on my house in South Carolina.
So let's talk about your house in
Mm-hmm.
Virginia, right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody knows you put your house on the market.
Yep.
And you were waiting for offers. And I think where we last left things, at least in the live chat on Friday, you had announced to people that you had 2 offers.
Mm-hmm.
You accepted the first one. The second one was a backup offer, and you were just waiting for a home inspection contingency to be dropped off.
And that came off. I think I was notified on Saturday. It was Saturday because we were coming back from shopping, and that the home inspection came through fine, and that the buyers were going to move forward with the contract. So we are just now waiting for, and then they had the appraisal today. That was done at 10 o'clock this morning. And that was not a condition of the contract because they had waived the appraisal for the house and everything, but it was a condition of their loan that they had to do the appraisal. So that was done this morning. So all we're waiting for now is closing on January 5th.
Very cool. So it's just the big waiting game.
Yep.
You're moving forward.
Yep.
And you got a backup offer in case something happens with this one.
Yep. And everything that could happen to the house, with that falling through has already happened already. So it's pretty much just now a waiting game until January. So,
that's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. I will say I've been live for 20 minutes, and so far my battery is still at 100%. So this is boding well. And the whole time Ian was here, I got to tell you, I kept saying, Ian, something's wrong with my computer. Ian, something's wrong with my computer. It keeps losing battery even when it's plugged in. And he's like, that's odd. And so I tried everything. I tried other powerful cords and stuff. And I even was like, can I borrow your Apple one? And he was like, mine isn't the same as yours because he has a newer MacBook than I do. So the charging cord is different. I was like, oh, doggone it. And so I even called the Apple team and was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And they're like, okay, well, you can take it in to be serviced and have them check it out. And I was like, okay. So I made an appointment and I never went. But maybe, knock on wood, like all the wood in this room.
This has to
Let's
be
hope
it.
this is it. Like, because the computer itself is great. It had to have just been the generic brand charger just not performing well.
Right. Yep.
Lisa's Quilting Corner says she is just outside of Graniteville, and she said it's a nice little town.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna join a quilting guild down there once I get settled in and everything. So maybe Lisa, maybe we can meet up sometime and have lunch or coffee or something.
Yeah, you just can't replace me.
Nope.
I need my Sunday afternoons. So
that will never happen.
You can bring people into that, but you cannot replace me.
That's right. I also asked Becca if I could pack her in my suitcase and take her with me.
I was like, sure. I said, I'll quit my job too. And she said, I will take care. What did you say?
I said, I will take care of you in the
manner
tradition to which you've become accustomed to.
I was like, okay, I'll just sew and make videos. I looked out and I looked just for a second. Something caught my eye in the laundry room, and so I looked over.
Is Jason in there?
No, I thought it was, but it's this green backpack that's really only big enough to hold a phone of Invader Zim. It's a cartoon character that Zoe thought it was a full-size school backpack and she wanted it. And so we got it for her birthday or Christmas or something. And she got it and looked at it and she was like, oh, and hasn't used it once. But it's hanging on this coat rack that we have in the laundry room. And it just kind of looked like a person's head.
There.
It Oh, goodness. And Judy says, it will go by fast, Mary.
Yes, it will. And Tiffany said earlier that she wished that she could stand the cold weather because she would move in next door to you. That would be like so awesome.
Listen, if she could stand the cold weather, she could just live in my basement.
I know.
Because then I have a long arm up here. You can fit your long arm. Probably my basement's probably close to the size of her house. I won't say it's as big. Her house is probably bigger. But I've got 2 bedrooms down there in a huge huge open area.
Very comfortable.
And you would have the benefit of being in my studio. I'm just saying.
Yep.
There is a house literally 2 doors down from me that is for sale if anybody's interested. Come be my neighbor.
Believe me, she tried to get me to do that too.
Sadly, it was out of Mary's budget.
I know. And Jean wants to know how close I am to you. Right now, I'm about an hour away from Becca.
Yep. She
I
lives
live
about
in
an
a
hour.
little town called Luckett's, which is near Leesburg, Virginia.
Yep. And going forward, she'll be like 7 hours away from me. But she's about 20 minutes from an airport, and I'm about a half an hour from an airport. So a quick flight for her and the pups, or her and the pups are being babysat by mom and her sister. She does have family living down there. Or a road trip for her and the pups.
Yep.
Either way. Either way, Becca and all her quilty friends will live under one roof. How wonderful. Yeah, we'll get Ian to move in. He'll take the guest
There you
bedroom
go.
upstairs. Tiffany and Scott can live downstairs, and we'll build a she shed for Mary.
And we'll have a gay old time.
Great.
We'll
Good night,
subdivide
Lisa.
the basement.
Subdivide the basement.
Subdivide the basement.
You could just have that little room, our gym.
Mhm.
There's at the bottom of the stairs, the gym.
Yep.
You can just have that as your bedroom. You just
Yep.
need a twin bed.
Mhm.
You're fine.
Yep.
Oh gosh, what are we going to do with mom?
Oh, we have to find a place for mom.
Oh, goodness.
Hmm.
I think we need a bigger house.
Yes, we do. We could always put blow up beds in the studio.
Hey, listen, you joke, but I literally did that during one of Ian's visits. I don't
know.
remember what it was. I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was the
It was
one in June.
It was the one between. It was in June.
Yeah, I thought it was the one in June.
Mhm.
I was tired, but I didn't want to go to bed, and he was still working on stuff. And we were watching, I think, maybe Harry Potter, maybe something else. And so I just decided I really wanted to lay down, but I didn't want to go to bed. So I went and got a blow up bed and put it in here and literally just laid on it and watched the movie. He's like, "You're a little ridiculous." I'm like, "Thanks."
And Ian,
Yeah.
I love to sew, said Ian needs one with no stairs, so he's safe.
Oh, jeez. But even not having stairs,
I know.
he's still unsafe. Judy says you'll be about 3 hours from her.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Where's Judy at then?
I don't know.
Oh.
Hello, Andrea. If you guys haven't checked out Arkansas Gals, make sure you do that. Put little tiny homes all around you. I actually thought about that. And did you know that Stitch in Heaven in Texas has a retreat center, and they have lots of different accommodations, and one of them are tiny cottages that you can stay in. You can stay in your own little tiny home there.
That's really cool.
I want to do that. Let's go to Texas.
We could also get like little mini mobile homes, like little coyotes.
Oh, yeah, like
and station them around the house.
Listen, there is a house. There is a house about 3 miles away from here that has a little coyote trailer on it, on their land. And I'm out with Mary one day, a month or so ago. Ian was still here.
Yep.
And she had come over for the weekend, and we went to run an errand or something.
We were on our shop hop.
Oh, we were on the shop hop. But Ian wasn't in the car, though. It doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Maybe whatever. The story goes, Mary says, there's a cute little house up here that has a trailer on it, and I really want that trailer. I think it would be really cool to just grab that trailer and travel all over the United States and da-da-da-da-da. She's like, I'm going to steal their trailer. I'm just going to drive my little Mini Cooper up and hook it up and take off. And I was like, Mary, your Mini Cooper is not pulling that trailer. She's like, yes, it is. My Mini Cooper's got power. And I'm like... So let us know in the chat. Do you think that the Mini Cooper is going to very easily pull a camper trailer behind it? I don't think so.
And Jean is asking me if I'm moving to be closer to family. No, I'm moving to South Carolina because that's where I want to be in my next phase of life.
But she does have
But
family
I
in
do
the
have
area.
family down there.
They're
yes.
not what caused her to move there. She lived there during college. She likes the weather down there and the cost of living. And
the people.
she, like, the further south you go, she feels like the friendlier people
People
are.
are.
But, you know, Arlington, DC, Northern Virginia is a very transient area and people aren't as friendly. If you go like 2 hours south to Richmond, whole lot friendlier. Whole lot friendlier. People come in here for 2 or 3 years to build up their resume or their job. They're in and out. And it's a bit like getting whiplash living in this area. But I do feel like, I will say, the county that I live in now is better than Arlington.
I agree.
But it still could be better.
Yes. I agree.
So.
Everybody here is in a hurry to go somewhere, or they're focused on their lives and what they have to do. They're not concerned about what other people
Perfect
are
example.
doing. Yes.
We went to Cold Stone Creamery today to get some ice cream because ice cream. We go inside. There's not really a line. We're inside maybe 10 minutes. We get the ice cream for Mary and I, and we bring back some for Zoe too. So we get everything bagged up. We come out. The parking lot was almost empty. It was like half empty. But somebody had come in while we were in the store and drove their little car. I'm guessing it was a girl because she had a pink fuzzy wheel cover and all sorts of cutesy bumper stickers on the back of her car. She whipped her little tiny car into the parking space and literally left about 6 inches between her passenger door and my driver door. There was no way I was going to get my door open enough and squeeze my big old booty into the car. I don't think a skinny mini would have been able to do it. And so I put the ice cream in the back of the car and I sat there for a minute hoping that maybe she would come out and I'd be like, you parked a little close. Could you move your car so I could get in mine? She never showed up, of course, because she was probably sitting in the Starbucks waiting to see us move because she knew what she did. So I ended up just giving up. I was like, I don't want my ice cream to melt. This is silly. And I wrangled myself into the driver's seat from the passenger door. So that was a lot of
quite
fun.
a feet.
It was quite the feat to get in the
It
way.
was quite a feat.
Oh, thank you for subscribing, Judy. I appreciate that. Is her route completely flat? LOL.
Not really. It's the way that I take it from Leesburg, you go through the mountains because you go down 81 down that way down to 77, I think it is.
I'm surprised. I grew up in Detroit. I'm surprised at how hilly Virginia is.
Yeah.
Right. I know along the West Coast or the West Coast. I know along the western border, like where 81 is, you have the Appalachian Mountains. I get that. But even when you're out of the mountain range, even here it's hilly. Arlington is hilly. Right. And oh my goodness, I think the other thing that I was really kind of surprised by is the number of trees that are here. Lots of trees, lots of hills, and everything's windy. Not even in the city, that's the way it is. It's just, I never pictured it being that way.
Virginia's very gorgeous in the fall.
It is.
Because of all the trees.
And I got to tell you, I am not a big fall color person, and I've never really been pro fall until I moved to Virginia. Because where I grew up, everything was flat until you get to northern Michigan. Then there's some hills and there's some dimension. But in the Detroit area, everything's flat and everything's kind of like grid, right? Like that's how it is. And you don't see the beauty of the trees. Like when you don't see an entire mountain change all of the different autumn colors. It just doesn't happen there. But the other thing that fall does in Michigan, as when I was growing up, is September 5th comes around and it gets gray and it stays that way until May or June. And I'm telling you, when I say seasonal affective disorder, depression, whatever, it is a real thing. It stays gray. And usually in October, November, it would start snowing. I remember there were Halloweens where it was snowing. And so once the first good snow hits, you don't get rid of the snow until springtime. Yep. There's a couple, the first couple they melt, but once the first one sticks and you get a good dumping, you're done.
It's done.
So as soon as you'd see you'd have one or two trees and you'd see that one change. And as soon as you saw that one change, you were dreading the snow.
Yep.
So.
And I don't like cold weather, and so moving to South Carolina is much a milder climate for me, and so I'm looking forward to hopefully not having to deal with snow as much.
See, that's like so funny for me to hear because I look at it like this is warm, right? Like even the winters are mild.
We haven't
There's
had
no
a bad
snow.
winter yet.
We even your snowmageddon, our, because
Yeah.
I have been here. I think I have now lived here longer. No, I have not. That's a lie. But I have lived here. I have bought 2 houses in Virginia, so I have to say I'm a Virginian now. But we, even in the snowmageddon, when we had that really bad snowstorm in December
Back
of
to
2009, and then again in February of 2010, you got like 2 feet in
Oh,
the
yeah.
one and like a foot in the other.
The government even closed down
for a
like
whole
a week.
Yep. Even that winter was mild.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a very freak snowstorm.
Mhm.
I will give you that. But that was it. You just had 2 big snowstorms, and the 2 foot of snow melted within a week. If you would have got that dump, maybe it was 2 weeks, but if you would have got that dump in Michigan where I grew up, it would have been there until May.
Yeah.
So, Lady Fair says, I just tuned in. Thought you were talking about something else, not trees. LOL. Janet Johnson is telling Andrea that she loves her channel, and like her, she is a big fan of Lori Holt.
Yeah.
Always late said, come to Fredericksburg. We are very friendly. You are not far from
Fredericksburg is
Yeah,
very
me.
friendly
Like
area. That's my guideline for the friendliness.
Yeah.
That's my friendliness line.
Fredericksburg equals friendliness.
Once you get to Fredericksburg, it's all up. It's all downhill from there.
My nephew Parker lives in Fredericksburg. VR says, I lived in Georgia for a short period of time, and my mother and people are definitely more friendly in the South than they are up north, but we're not too bad up here in Michigan. I never had a problem with people not being friendly in Michigan.
Maybe it's just this particular area because of the government. Yeah.
I think it's DC.
Yeah.
Right? I think if you were, and maybe New York is like that too, because I don't know.
People in New York are kind of friendly there.
I've only been to New York a couple of times. So I don't really have an opinion. But my theory on the DC Northern Virginia thing is literally what I said earlier. It is so career oriented and it is so fast paced.
Yep.
You have 2 types of people. Well, you have the stayers and you have the movers, right? The people that are either born here or have resettled here, they're looking to make and form those long-term meaningful connections. But there are a lot of people that move here for their 3-year tour with the military, or they're doing something for a political
administration, the current
administration, some agency, whatever, and it's a short-term thing, or somebody's trying to start off their political career by building up. Whatever brought them here, it has definitely got an expiration date on it, and it becomes a very difficult place to kind of find your people and lean in to them. You have to get very comfortable with saying goodbye. And I feel like I've had a lot of those, and I get a little whiplash from that because I don't like, I just get to the point where I'm like, yes. And then like, oh, we got orders. Oh, and then you got to do it all over again. So I am very happy to have the friends that are here and staying, because I think that helps keep us grounded. And sadly, I thought Mary was one of them. Yeah. She doesn't work for the government and she's gone. So we still have friends that are in the area, and I think they're easier to find when you live further out in the suburbs.
Right. I agree.
Jen Candy Fiddly Bits. That's a lovely name. Jen Candy Fiddly Bits. Wow, I've never managed to make a live of yours before. Well, welcome. Tiffany said, try here. Havasu, Arizona is very friendly and nowhere close to big city, as well as way less traffic.
Hey, I'd go for that.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. Janet says, I find in general most large cities around the world are less friendly.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
I can see that. Jean says, you come to Indiana. We are super friendly here.
I don't want to go north, though. I don't mind going south, but I don't want to go north.
Did you see Soap and Girl said the Mini Cooper will end up
I
being
saw
cold.
That. I was ignoring that comment.
Did anybody? Oh, that's why Soap and Girl was asking about your route. Is it mostly flat? I was like, why is she?
My
asking
Mini
about the
Cooper
roads?
is powerful, and it can beat any car on the road.
Okay, but there is a difference. We're just rekindling the whole
I know.
conversation at this point, just for your benefit. There is a difference between horsepower off the line, like speed, and torque that you need to tow.
You've never ridden in my Mini Cooper?
I have ridden in Mini Coopers. I have driven Mini Coopers.
My Mini Cooper can spin on a dime.
Yes, it can spin on a dime because it's tight. It's tiny.
Yeah.
Yes, it's fast off the line. Yes, it's got pick up and go because it is very small. But does it have the transmission to haul stuff?
It's a sport. She's losing it, people.
I'm just gonna go get a trailer. I'm gonna go get Pat's trailer. Next time Pat's in Virginia, I'm gonna make you come up and I'm gonna hook up her trailer to your Mini Cooper and say, go.
Okay.
And you're gonna be like,
challenge accepted. Oh my gosh.
Katie, got it. Katie Fiddly Bits. Katie, my mom's name, LOL. It's our creative store and channel. No content yet. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Tiffany said a Mini Cooper can tow a small trailer.
It's a small
I've seen
one.
it. As well as a VW Bug can too. Listen, I will believe Tiffany if she says that. I just don't think it'll do it well.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Becca, did you ever do the Tunnel of Trees here in Michigan? Where is the Tunnel of Trees? Refresh my memory, because maybe I did. I lived there for 30 years, so I'm sure I probably did, but I'm not sure I know what you're talking about right off the top of my head. Thank you for subscribing, Kim Riggs. Awesome. I don't know why I'm doing the turkey noise. Several years ago, my sister would just walk around and go, and I would just be like, why are you doing that? She's like, tension breaker had to be done. And I picked up on it. And so now,
do it.
I do. If I'm just sitting somewhere and it gets quiet and I don't know what to say, I just go, I just do.
I used to
the total up past Traverse City. Probably. I've been to Traverse City a few times. The last time I was there was several years ago, though. Because listen, you want to hear a story about my Michigan people are going to love this. Wait. So let's tell Mary really quick.
Okay.
Have you been to Michigan before?
No.
Okay. Have you been to like the Great Lakes area at all? Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Always wanted to go.
Well, I will
for a
take
visit.
You. Okay. Well, my sister just closed on a house up in Holly.
We should go see it.
Yeah, we should go see it when she's going to be settling in. Let's give her some time.
Yep.
But she is listing her house in the Metro Detroit area and moving about an hour north of Detroit. So I'm really excited for her. She's in love with this home. Whatever.
Awesome.
Anyway, moving on. So when I first met Jason, we were I love watching documentaries. And one of the documentaries that I was watching was shipwrecks, like famous shipwrecks. And you've heard about like the Edmund Fitzgerald, right? You don't grow up in Michigan without knowing the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Or the song.
Or the song, Port and Lightfoot for the win. So this is a ship that sunk in Lake Superior up by Sault Ste. Marie. And that's how you also know that you're either from Canada or Michigan, because it's not Sault Ste. Marie, it's Sault Ste. Marie. Anyway, and it's also Mackinac, not Mackinac. So anyway, we were watching this story about shipwrecks, and the Edmund Fitzgerald came up. And my husband said, in all of his wisdom, I don't understand why these ships keep crashing and sinking on the lake. It's a lake! And I just stopped and went, babe, it's not a lake.
It's the Great Lake.
I was like, it's like an ocean. And he's like, no, it's a lake. I was like, no, you can stand at the beach, at the lake, and not see land on the other side. It's huge. And he's like, no. I was like, all right. So we agreed to disagree. I knew I was right and he was wrong. That's what that meant.
Has he not looked at a map?
He did, but he just underestimated,
Oh,
right?
okay.
He never thought about it. So one year, several years ago, for our summer vacation, we went up to Petoskey, and we stayed up near Petoskey at. We have a timeshare, and they have a location in Boyne Falls, I think it is. So Boyne, yeah, somewhere
like
up there.
Boyne Falls.
Boyne.
Yep.
Mhm. So it's outside of Petoskey. Like, you all know what I'm doing right now, right? Like,
the tip of the hand.
up at the top, northwest of the hand. So the lower peninsula. So we go up there, and one of the days that we were there, well, we get up there, and the first thing that he did, he was like, okay, I got to take Justice to see a beach, because he has to see a beach. So he takes him down to a lake. I don't even think he took him to a Great Lake. I think he just took him to a local lake, and they did swimming, whatever. But while we were there, we took a day and we drove down the West Coast along Lake Michigan, and we went through Grand Traverse and saw Traverse Bay and all that other stuff. And I was like,
that's lake.
That's a lake. And he was like, oh. And so I was like, all these other things that you call a lake, those are ponds.
I've never been to Michigan, but I've seen them on maps, and they're huge.
Oh, yeah.
So
Lake Erie is one of the smaller lakes. I think Ontario is the smallest. But as I'm flying into Detroit from DC, I fly over Erie, and I'm over top of that lake for
a long
minutes,
time.
like several minutes. Yeah, so it happens. Yep.
Cool.
I am watching you from Boyne City right now. Awesome, Nouni. We did. We stayed at the the Mountain Run or Boyne Run or something like that. It's a blue green timeshare resort up there.
That's
Tony
cool.
says, my best friend moved here in Virginia 6 years ago and now lives in Colorado. We keep our friendship alive by texting each other multiple times a day. Texting will be one of the things that we will do, because we do text. Marco Polo, we do a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is going to be FaceTime or Zoom.
Yep. I'll get better about Marco Polo once I get moved.
Totally fine.
So
we are 46 minutes in, 47.
Yep.
And my battery is still 100%.
Yay! Mission success.
There's a shipwreck in Alpena as well. There's a sunken
in the Great Lakes up there.
Oh, yeah. There's actually a museum for some of the shipwrecks up by Tequamanon Falls.
Oh.
We did 1 year, I think it was 12. Oh my gosh, am I going to tell the story? Yeah, I'm going to tell the story. The story is great. So we had 1 year when I was 12. I think I was 12. It was August. My dad took 2 weeks of time off of work. And that year, we weren't the family that did summer vacations because we didn't have money for it. So this was a really big deal for us. My dad and mom were separated. They were divorced. And so my dad took all 4 of us. I have 2 sisters and a brother. Took all 4 of us on his own on a 2-week camping trip.
Oh, I think I know which story you're going to tell.
You probably do. So we drive all the way up, and we're going to stop at all these different campgrounds along the way. We drive up, we stay outside of Mackinac, we go here, we go there. The bulk of our time, though, was up in Tequamanon, in Paradise, Michigan, which was at the tip top of the Upper Peninsula, right outside of Sault Ste. Marie. We stayed at a campground out by Tequamanon Falls, which was the first time I actually ever saw a waterfall.
Love waterfalls.
The story, though, that I think is hilarious. And I didn't tell my mom until like a few years ago. Several years after it happened. Like 30 years go by. My dad had one of these Econoline vans. And it was back in the days, in the 80s, when you didn't need seat belts for everybody. And so he kept it set up so that you had the little bench seat with the dining room table kind of in the back, and you had the other, like, so it was really kind of cool to ride in the van because you were sitting at a table, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
You play cards,
yeah,
games.
you could do all sorts of, like, you didn't have to be buckled into a seat. You could get up and walk around if you wanted to. So my dad, in his infinite wisdom, God love this man, decides that he's going to take us on a nature trail. But instead of us walking said nature trail, he decides he's going to drive us on the nature trail. Now, listen, I don't know if that is something that was really allowed. I don't know, but we did it. And we're going like 5 miles an hour. We're going pretty slow, right? And I begged this man, can we please sit on the side of the van with the side door open? And he was like, he let us do it. So me and Nicole and my brother Bill, Alicia didn't go there because she was too little. Me, Nicole, and Bill all sat on the side of the van and let our legs hang out while he's driving 5 miles an hour through these trails. And at one point,
It's like riding on the back of the pickup truck.
which we did all the time. At one point, this gallon of windshield solvent falls out of the van and goes rolling. And I tell Dad, something fell out of the car. And I see him check the mirror, and he's like, don't worry about it. And he just kind of keeps going. Listen, all sorts of economical reasons why, like, or environmental reasons why he should have stopped and picked it up. I get it. Like, he should have stopped. He should have picked it up for a number of different reasons. He chose not to. I'm not going to take blame for why he chose not to. But I wanted to make sure that he got it because I was like, oh, you can't leave that. You need that. The car is gonna break down if I didn't understand what it was. And so I told him 2 or 3 more times, it's out there, Dad, you got to get it. And, instead of stopping the car to go get it, he just kept going. And so I decided I was going to be a hero. And I dove out of the van, the moving van, tucked and rolled.
For the $1.19 bottle of windshield
solvent. Like 75 cents back then. So yeah, my dad was very upset with me.
As he should be.
As he should have been. He could have, just stopped the car. He did end up stopping the car, though, when I jumped out of it. I told my mom that, and her face went... I was like, yeah, I tucked and rolled after a bottle of windshield solvent. Oh,
too funny.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Donna McCaffrey says, I live outside of Cleveland, which is on the Great Lake Erie. I've ever speak. Oh. I'm not sure what that means, but sure. I know where Cleveland is, mm-hmm. and I know where Lake Erie is.
I went to Cleveland one time because that's where WKRP in Cincinnati is. No. That's where that was where the show was set in Cleveland, Ohio.
I was going to say Cincinnati's at the south end of Ohio.
but yes. It was called WKRP in Cincinnati. It was my very first business trip that I ever got to go on, and it was the first time I was ever on an airplane. Ooh. And I got to fly a multi-million-dollar proposal for the Environmental Protection Agency up to Cleveland to drop it off at the EPA. So that was pretty cool.
Very cool. Guess who Nancy says? We were boating on Lake Michigan. A storm hit the waves so high under my uncle's boat. It was at the bottom of the wave, and we came down and landed on the back of his boat. Oh my goodness.
Tiffany
I know. Oh my gosh.
69 more days.
Number, Tiffany. What a magical number. 69 days.
Yep.
I'm going to tell Jason that. I'm sure Scott has some words too.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will be the same
Don't go there.
Words.
Don't go there.
Jen says, I flew over the lake a few times when I had a layover in Chicago. I've seen the sunrise from the plane. It is gorgeous. It is. Shelby says, my dad grew up in a teeny tiny town on Lake Ontario, New York side near Niagara. The lake is definitely huge, and Ontario is the small one. At least he didn't leave you. No, Judy, he didn't leave me. But, if my child did that, I wouldn't leave her. But I would be tempted to. That was also the same trip that on one of my jaunts into the wilderness to hike, I found a deer jaw. Like a deer jaw.
Oh, like the bone?
The skeletal remains, like cleaned off, and I thought it was so cool. I picked it up and I brought it back. I was like, look, Dad! I was like, why are you carrying deer remains? I'm gonna take it to school.
Show and tell.
When you guys come to Holly, I would love to see you. I don't live that far from there. Well, you'll have to keep a lookout for my sister, who looks like a younger, thinner version of me. Joan says, we were in the UP, and we went through the locks at Sault Ste. Marie, and I asked my husband how we got over to Canada, and he said, over the international bridge. I said, heck no, the Mackinac Bridge. Girls, LOL. Oh man, I can't believe, Tiffany will be like, it's gonna be a revolving door. Like, it's just gonna be, I told Ian this back in October. I knew he was gonna be here for the entire month of November, and I was like, okay, so like, I'm going on my cruise and I'm going to come home, and then Zoe's birthday, and then you're coming, and then we have Thanksgiving, and then you're going to leave, and then Mary's going to be packing up to move, and Christmas, and then my mom comes at the end of Christmas, and then Mary's going to move, and then it's my birthday, and then oh my goodness, it's QuiltCon, and Ian, you're back.
Yep.
So it's just like boom, 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 boom. I feel like I'm going to blink and it's going to be summer.
Yep. 2024 is going to go by really fast.
It will be.
We thought 2023 flew by, but 2024 is probably going to fly by even
That's
faster.
the bad thing about planning everything out so far. Like, I already know what my travel plans are for 2025, and spoiler alert, guess what? I'm still not going to be able to make it to another So Yeah retreat.
Yep.
Because the one that I would have gone to would have been February of 2025. But instead of doing family vacations over the summer for the next couple of years, we're saving up our money, and we're doing an Orlando trip, and we're going to try to hit SeaWorld, Universal Studios, and Disney World in February of 2025. So I maybe February 2026. Like, I keep trying to make it work.
One of these days.
One of these days I'll get to one of those, and it'll probably be like on their 10th year anniversry. That's so bad.
I would like to do one
so
of those
fun.
too. Yeah, I'd like to do one too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe maybe we need to like be like purposeful to, okay, October or whatever it is, you know?
Yep.
Because the way those
2026.
Yeah, but see, if QuiltCon is back on this coast,
that's right.
It's not happening. If QuiltCon is happening that month, I'm not doing it. But what I might consider is October.
Yeah.
So we could see. We'll figure it out.
Well, since I'm now going to be like 6 hours from Orlando, we could probably meet up in Orlando at some point.
Well, why do we have to meet anywhere in Orlando?
I know.
We could just go.
I know.
Joan says, I grew up outside of Detroit and vowed I was going to live up north and ended up near Grayling. Loved every minute. Now I'm in Tennessee with my kids, and I still miss my Michigan.
Oh.
Joan says, I already read that one. The Mackinac Bridge was enough for me. The Mackinac Bridge is big.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's long, and it is, I want to say it's a suspension bridge.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Is
it like the Bay Bridge in going like to Ocean City? The one from Annapolis?
It's not as long as that bridge, but it moves. The Mackinac Bridge,
like it moves with the traffic on it.
With the wind.
Ooh.
Yeah, not as bad as like the San Francisco Bridge, but it's not drastic, but if a memory serves, I feel like there have been times where that bridge has been closed for inclement weather.
Wow.
Yeah. Becca, how much time off do you get at your current job? I earn 8 hours of leave, annual leave, like vacation time every 2 weeks, and then I earn 4 hours of sick leave every 2 weeks. So do the math. And then all federal holidays, I get those off too.
She gets more time off than I do.
Yeah. Mary gets 2 weeks. I get numbers of weeks. But those numbers of weeks have to be able to, I have to divide them up between family trips, quilting trips that I want to take, and then other time off that I just like to be able to have for local events. So like there's the Fredericksburg Expo. When the expo comes to town, I like to take time to go to that. I'm going to take a day off to be able to go to the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show the week after QuiltCon. I'm taking a week off for QuiltCon. I'm taking so I'm taking all these times off, and then I have friends that come in, and I like to take
time off when
time
they're
off for
here
them too.
Yeah.
So that time gets eaten up really quickly.
Yeah. This says the Mackinac Bridge is a suspension bridge, and if it gets too windy, then it's shut down all that fun stuff, and there's a radio for the bridge to tell you if it's working in right now.
Okay, so I thought that's what happened.
Yep.
It is a suspension bridge. If it does get windy, it gets shut down. Yep, that's right.
Yep.
VR says, I would love to do it. So yeah, retreat as well, but I just don't think I can afford to fly to Vegas and all that fun stuff. Just too much money, although it would be massively fun. That's the other thing that, like, I was also thinking, like, wouldn't it be great if, like, that So Yeah retreat bumped right up against a conference that I had to go to, because then work would pay for my flight there. As long as like if it ended up being more expensive to fly different days, I'd have to pay the difference. But
we could go see Tiffany.
Oh, anytime I go to it seems like every 2 years I've been in Vegas, I always make it a point to see Tiffany.
Yeah.
Joan says it is 5 miles long.
Wow.
A freighter blew its horn right when we got to the middle of the bridge, and if we didn't have a roof on the car, I swear I would have been in the lake. Somebody said, hey, when I come, you can still go to work while I'm there. I don't mind sewing in your room all day. Ha, ha, ha. Listen, the best thing, I went to work one day, so the week of Thanksgiving, Ian took those days off, but I still went into work. I think I took one day off, if memory serves, whatever it was. So I know there was one day where I went into the office and I'm working. And a lot of times when I'm working, if I'm doing busy work by myself and I'm just focusing on something, I like to have something playing in the background. So I'll put my headphones on and I'll listen to YouTube videos or live streams if there's a content creator that I just like. And the live streams are kind of fun because if I have a moment to take a break, I can jump in and be like,
chat. Yeah.
But I'll listen and I'll listen to videos and stuff while I'm working. It just blocks out the background noise. So I open up YouTube while I'm looking for a video to watch while I'm working on a project, and I see on my YouTube app that Ian is live from my sewing room. Weirdest thing ever, to be sitting in the office working diligently and see somebody else enjoying their time with Bubba
in your space.
In my space. I was like, you have a very nice sewing room, Ian. Thank you for subscribing, Vanessa. Yeah. So I think I should do the same thing for Tiffany. I should give her the opportunity to go live by herself from my room. Yeah. Be like, hey, Becca, are you watching?
That's so funny.
It was. I was like, that's hilarious. Leave it to Ian. Leave it to Ian. Okay, so we are 1 hour, 2 minutes, and the battery level is fully charged. 100%.
Awesome.
I think we solved the problem.
Yay.
There. I'm so excited. Huh. Oh, goodness. Ray says, maybe Becca will have a big purge of fabric while you're visiting, Tiff.
That's possible.
I do have. So I have 2 things that I feel like would be hilarious to do while Tiffany's here. The first one is, I would love to see how many quilts on my rack she could get long-armed. Joking, of course, although she's already said, make sure you save me a quilt top for while I'm there, Becca.
Oh, she's got plenty.
I got you. But the second thing that I think would be funny, Tiffany is mechanically inclined. She didn't go to school to learn any of this stuff. She likes to tinker and figure stuff out.
Like to take things apart and put it back together again.
She sure does. She sure does. And this right here, Nancy Jean number 3, because Nancy Jean number 1 is my mom. Nancy Jean number 2 is Guess Who Nancy. And Nancy Jean number 3 is the sewing machine. So this is a Singer hand crank from 1938, I think. Something like that. Because the 1941, the 40s Singer is Peggy Sue.
Yep.
Featherweight. So I think it's like a 1938 hand crank. It has never been used. It was a Christmas gift from my husband a couple years ago. I absolutely love it. It just sits here and looks pretty.
It's beautiful. Very
But
beautiful.
I think Tiffany and I, while she is here,
Could take it apart and put it back together again.
no,
No?
no. I think Tiffany and I should make a project, but she has to use that.
Ooh.
And for added measure, the little iron sitting next to it, I got from Tiffany. You can only use that to press your fabric.
Challenge accepted. Hot tap. Tiffany said she may or may not bring an almost empty luggage bag.
I think when Tiffany's here, I'll have to take her to Fabric Place Basement in Alexandria for the deals that they have.
Oh yeah.
I think she'd like that, yeah. Tiffany, get the vacuum bags. You can fit tons of fabric in them. Tiffany, I totally see you doing something like that.
Tiffany says, I still win.
she would. You're like, what? It's done.
She would have that thing whizzing.
Because she's like, oh, babe. She'd be like, Scott, I need to work out my right arm because I'm gonna go to Becca's and I'm gonna work the hand crank.
Mm-hmm.
So she would either work out her arm so she could go super fast, or she would figure a way to rig it
so that it worked itself.
She'd pick that thing up and put it on the treadle desk that I have out there. She'd put a belt on it, and she'd be like, look, my legs are going faster than my hand.
Don't give her any ideas.
I actually wonder if you could do that.
I bet you could.
I bet you could.
I bet you if there was a way, she would figure it out.
I bet she would. Tizzy said that little sewing machine will be smoking with Tiff. Get the fire extinguisher ready. When I got that machine, and I haven't done it yet, but Tiffany's told me a number of times that she thinks it would be a really cool video to do, like a live stream. She said she thinks I should get that machine and set it up on like one of those TV trays and just go sit outside with my phone as the camera. You
have a beautiful backdrop.
And just do a live stream from the backyard with the hand crank. I'm working on some 4-patches today, guys. How's it going? I don't have an iron. I'm just going to finger press everything.
Oh, she says it can be turned into a foot
goodness
machine. I've seen it done.
See, I'd have to challenge her to do it on day one, because if I tell her that it's going to happen on Friday night, she will have the whole week to tinker with that thing while I'm at work, and I'm going to come home and that hand crank is going to be an electrified machine that's going to do like 5,000 stitches a minute. She'll turn it into...
And she would beat you.
She would beat me. Like, if she got it to do like 500 stitches a minute. Although I will tell you, I was sewing some seams today, just like working on those panels. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, wait, I only have my pedal down half of the way. And so I was like, oh, I could make it go faster. And so I put it all the way to the floor. I was like, oh, yeah, I don't even hear this speed very often. I was
like, oh my gosh. Oh, do you want to show them what you made this week? Do you want to show them? You want to show them your stocking? This one's not quite done yet, but
okay.
Yeah, you can show them anyway.
Okay, so Mary and I are collaborating to make these. We have made my tree skirt this year. So one of the things that I wanted to do for a number of years is make a tree skirt for my tree. I bought cheapy ones, and I've wanted to make a tree skirt. I've wanted to make a tree skirt since I started sewing, and I just never have. It's always been a bucket list item. And so this year that bucket list item got completed. The tree skirt has been made, and it is under my tree in the family room. And if you want to see what that looks like, I did a video tutorial on how to do the Quilt As You Go tree skirt using the June Taylor batting and the Shabby Fabrics Bargello pattern. So you can go check that out. But to coordinate with that tree skirt, I wanted to make 5 stockings for my family. And I was really trying to figure out what fabric I wanted to use. So if you remember from a few weeks ago, we did our Black Friday quilt shop hop, and I only bought fabric for projects. I was very intentional with my purchases, and the fabric that I picked up for the stocking was this vintage Mickey and Minnie Christmas print, which I just absolutely loved. So over the course of this weekend, with Mary's help, we assembled all of the stockings for all 5 members of my family. Jason and I have one, and then all 3 kids, Justice, Katana, and Zoe, have one. And I'm really excited about them. If you are curious about this pattern, this is the stocking template from Erica Arndt, Ardnt. I've made these stockings before. I absolutely love them. For me, I love the shape and I love the size, but you can do whatever works for you. There are a number of templates out there for them. I did deviate from the pattern a little bit because I wanted the cuff to be a bit fluffier than what Erica's pattern and tutorial calls for. What she normally does for the cuff is she takes the cuff material and then a piece of batting that is half the height, and she lays it down on the bottom and then folds it over. And if you want to quilt it or something, you can. And then she puts that on, but it makes the cuff feel a little lightweight because it's only got the 1 layer in there. Instead of having 1 layer of batting in here, each side of the cuff has 4 layers of batting.
So it's very fluffy. 3.
I'm glad we didn't do 3 too. So I'm really excited about, because 3 would have been 6 because you fold it over, right? So I'm really excited about how it turned out. But so Mary helped me by cutting out the fabric. I quilted it, pieced it. But the other thing that she's helping with is hand embroidering the names on all of the cuffs. We've gotten all 3 kids done. She is almost done with mine, and then we just have Jason's left. Mm-hmm. I wanted the handwriting on the cuff to be my handwriting, so I took a water-soluble pen. That way it doesn't disappear until we're ready for it to disappear, but we also don't have to worry about washing it to get rid of the friction ink, right? Mm-hmm. So we chose a water-soluble pen. I marked a 1/2 inch down and a 1/2 inch up, and then I just wrote in all capital letters the names. And then I handed it over to Mary, and she took this dark green
pearl cotton,
size 8, and she's been hand embroidering the letters. So this is something that both of us are working on together, and hopefully tomorrow
be done.
It's like 10, oh my gosh, 11 o'clock. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow they will be done, and I'm really excited about that. So we now have 5 stockings and a coordinating tree skirt. Very excited about that, and that's because of Mary's help. So thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. I'm happy to do it.
Yep. VR says, I have an old foot pedal machine you can use, Tiffany. LOL. Nadine, I think I remember that many years ago, a car was blown off of the Mackinac Bridge. I feel like I remember hearing that story.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Great job, Mary. That looks wonderful. That's pretty cool. Bella Ann says, come to Eastern Kentucky. We're all friendly and have fun doing anything. She must be watching a while ago. Joan says, did Mary sell her house? Do you want to give one more update on that again?
Sure. Joan, yes, I did sell my house. It hasn't gone to closing yet. It's due to close on January 5th. All the contingencies have been removed from the contract. So we're just in a waiting game right now until January 5th when it closes. And then after that, in about 2 weeks from that, or 11 days actually, from that, my house is supposed to go to closing in South Carolina. So by the end of January, I will be in my new house in Graniteville, South Carolina.
And at the end of February, she'll be driving up to North Carolina to meet us for QuiltCon.
Yeah.
So she'll be at QuiltCon with us.
Yep.
No worries, Amy. She said, I can't wait to watch the replay. I've missed everything. No worries. Are you doing stockings for your dogs too?
Not this year.
I think that was for me.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, but what I was going to say is I think that's for me, but if it was for Mary, she's already done stockings for her dogs. So I do want to do stockings for my dogs, and I think I've probably got enough fabric left that I could do stockings for both of them, but I want to make them miniature.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a 10-pound dog does not need a full-size stocking.
Why not? My dogs have big stockings.
Actually, I do have a full yard of that left. I guess I could make.
Yeah, that's true.
Or I could just buy miniature ones.
Yeah, I was gonna do. I want to do Becca a table runner for her
but we
table.
can always buy another yard.
Yeah, That's true, because we found out they have it at Fat Quarter Shop. So.
The bigger thing is making sure we get the right white.
Right.
I don't remember where we got that white.
We got it at
the
Quilter Studio.
Yeah, whatever. We'll look at it. It's not going to happen this year.
Right.
They're fine. They're totally fine. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
And Tiffany says I need to come there for a few weeks. She has many projects we can do together, or we can organize my disaster room. I would love to come and stay with you for a few weeks, Miss Tiffany.
Yep.
That's on my bucket list.
Awesome.
I would love to go and see Ian as well and his thing, but I would like to do it with Becca when she has time to come and do it with me.
And Judy says, Mary, the day you close on your house, do you have to be out that day, or are they giving you 30 days to move?
No, we are renting back till the end of January because in my situation, I live with my siblings and my 2 adult nephews. And this whole process has kind of been an adventure. And I say that with quotes because it's really hard to find places for 3 adult people plus 2 adult children. So the long story short is we're renting back to the end of January to give us all time to get all of our stuff out of the house and into our new places, wherever they may be. Because I'm moving to South Carolina, my sister's moving to Winchester, and my brother's moving to Sterling. So it's going to be an adventure. So.
Kate says you should do paws for stockings for the dogs. I have one my mom made for me. I could trace the shape and mail it to you. Actually, do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be fun because I'd love to do that. And VR, by the way, said yes, your dogs do too need a stocking. Put a bone in it. They'll be happy dogs. LOL.
That's right.
Donna did ask, so did you ever put an angry panda back in her quilt since she's leaving you? Just kidding. No, I did not, but I do need to get that done because I wanted to have it pieced before she leaves in January. So I need to get cranking on that. But right now I've just been busy trying to get all of my Christmas projects made
right now.
Right, because I have committed to making a tree skirt and stockings for Christmas, but then also I needed to make 4 of those Hemingway pouches, which I did a video tutorial on last week. Gotta check it out. Awesome pattern. And now I've signed up to do at least 2 boxy pouches following, I don't even know where the pattern, oh, here it is. It's called the Holland pouch. This is also from Center Street Quilts. I'm going to make a few of these for Christmas as well. They look like they would make awesome like cosmetic bags and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make a few of those as well. And then I think all of my Christmas sewing will be done. But I think this is the first year that I'm not giving somebody a quilt.
Yeah. Last year I made all quilts for Christmas, and I'm not doing that this year. So
but I've given away a lot of quilts during the year, so we're going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true. The quilt that I keep meaning to give to my sister, I will actually finally give to her at Christmas. It's been done for a while. She's seen it. She's already cuddled with it. I just got to put a label on it, so I got to do that before Christmas. So there will be a Christmas quilt given. All right. It has been an hour and 17 minutes. My battery is still at 100%, and I've got the display brightness all the way up. I'm streaming. Everything's running. So I think this is the $150 fix for the computer that I probably should have done months ago. Let this be a lesson to you, boys and girls. Do not buy off-brand electronics and expect them to hold up to the name brand. It doesn't work that way. All right, folks, thank you so much for helping me test my setup. Mary, anything else you want to say before we go to bed?
Just in case I don't get to chat with you guys anytime before Christmas, everybody have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you.
Merry Christmas. All right, guys. I'll see you guys all Friday night. And you'll want to stay tuned for tomorrow's video because I'll be showing you just how much fabric is left over from a Fat Quarter Shop blog of the month. You're going to be surprised. I'll see you guys all later. Bye.
Oh my gosh.